But with that said, and I put this question up, we've been talking about a little, I want to get, are they interchangeable concepts, these words, or are they actually different aspects that you could bring together, have multiple that work together? I I think the needs and wants definitely fits with that. But jobs to be done is the place that it really, to me, I'm trying to get my head around. I can say market problems and needs are interchangeable. Jobs to be done to me is almost a different lens. Uh, it may be something that's not. It's what's Porter's five forces is. There's a threat of there's a threat of replacement, or alternate solution. This, to me, jobs to be done is an alternate solution. It's almost a different construct. Steve, I'd love to get your take on this.
Well, I've been saying market problems for 25 years, but I'm skewing as well to jobs to be done. Back to, the example we gave of just a moment ago. Nobody wants a quarter-inch hole either. What they want to do is hang a painting. And I'm reminded of, I don't know if you remember re-engineering. That was a big thing back in the day.
Yep.
And I uh, I was reading an article about a re-engineering project where the insurance company was talking about the customer need. And somebody finally said, well, wait, what exactly is the customer need? And the whoever was speaking said, well, the customer needs to have their invoices paid. They want their claims settled. And there's this, nodding of everybody around the room about that reality. And somebody else said, no, they want their car fixed. They don't care about your freaking paperwork. They don't care about how long it sits in somebody's end basket or what the mechanics are inside your building. What they care is, I've got to drive a car, either a rental or my own. I want a car fixed. And I think ever since that, whenever I think market problems in my head, I'm really substituting it for jobs to be done. What are they really trying to accomplish? And frankly, I lose sight of that my own self in my own life. I'm like, well, let me put an iPod on the wall or an iPad on the whatever. And I'm like, wait, what am I actually trying to accomplish here? What job am I trying to get done? Let me go ahead and purchase the appropriate thing, not cobble together something that may work.
So, Rob, I want to ask a question. Is there a market problem for the milkshake? I get it in the jobs to be done construct.
I thought what Clay Christensen said in the research that they did was pretty good. The milkshake was a way to actually pass the time as I'm driving to work. That didn't cause me to get crumbs on my or anything else and make a mess. So I believed in that. I've lived, I've unfortunately my diet can contest to the fact that I've lived that life.
But I would argue that could just as easily be a market problem as a job to be done. I mean, there is a problem in the market, right? I'm a commuter. I want to have breakfast, and I don't want my coffee to get cold, and I don't want to get crumbs all over my stuff, and I don't want banana juice or whatever on my fingers.
I would say though it's an outcome. The outcome that I'm looking for as a consumer. I solved it. This is one way of solving it, is with the milkshake. But the outcome that I'm looking for as a consumer is I need something to fill the time and to satisfy my hunger. It wasn't just I'm hungry and I had alternatives. It was also, if you remember, the whole straw and the way the aperture of the straw, it was all about filling the time and allowing me to intake this thick milkshake as I'm going from point A to point B. And so
it almost was a combination of market problems, because it was both the I wanted to be filling, right? I need something filling, I need something to eat, and I'm driving. It's sort of two. Does a job to be done actually allow you to combine multiple needs or problems?
Isn't the Audi the same thing? Combining multiple needs, right? You need transportation from A to B that is reliable, and but you also have a need to feel a certain sense of self-worth based on the vehicle you drive or whatever.
Exactly.
plus the product experience around the service centers and everything theoretically being, higher touch than the Volkswagen version, right? In solving 3 different market problems, needs, jobs, whatever.
Yeah. So it's as you bring them together. Bob Moesta, who's one of Clay's researchers and who worked with him on the milkshake one, wrote a book about college and how, so everybody talks about college and how with MOOCs and stuff you don't need the learning, one of the needs or problems, right? But there's something about the community aspect of it, right? That and the experience. I don't know if I could use needs or market problems as well to describe the whole collective of it. I know we used to talk about the single overarching problem, right? Our single overarching need. I guess that would be, the closest way to it. But, I think the outcome, or outcomes I look at jobs. And I think I'm going back to what I started this one on is I could see market problems and needs more as synonyms, where jobs to be done is like an alternate view of the way to look at the world. John, your take. You chimed in a little on the jobs to be done. What's your thought? Are they the same? Are they different?
Maybe it's like different angles of the same thing. So looking at it from the top as opposed to looking at it from the side, conceptually, like very abstractly conceptually.
Yeah.
Because I think you can, for any of these given products that we are defining, you can describe them in terms of market problems that they solve or needs that they solve or jobs to be done, right? You could theoretically use that, and it ends up being slightly different the way you frame it based on that. But I think they are all interesting, useful ways to define the thing you need to do in the market.
So part of it may be just the consistency of how you do it, that you just don't, for one requirement, use a job to be done approach, the next use a market problems, the next use a need, because all of a sudden there's not consistency in how you're describing things and you're coming with different lenses. Sort of I get that. I like that. Jason, what's your take?
Yeah, I think I agree that those are the market problems and the needs are very similar as well, and the jobs to be done. I agree with what everybody else is saying. Of course, I think that's kind of my
ditto
Monday.
week for Jason.
It is ditto week. And in a lot of regards, I haven't really thought of products in such a kind of conceptual way. But I do think you have me thinking more about the milkshake piece, and I think. And this has to also do with the car analogy where you're looking at endorphins. And that's what goes into the psychological aspect of it. And I think that can't be missed by connecting these with the personas. And so, that definitely is an aspect. And also with the pricing, which could, like you said, could be a whole nother, it could be a whole nother conversation about higher pricing leads to perception of higher quality. And so price accordingly. But so yeah, so sorry, nothing more tangible than what you've already put together.
Actually, something you said popped in my head. With the jobs to be done, you're almost weaving in some persona or segmentation, because the job adds to experience and stuff like that. I don't know. That's something I might have to ruminate on.
And Grant doesn't the strategy. I was just trying to look up, pull up a strategy presentation, but don't they have a psychosocial component to their methodology? I sort of remember, after you get through writing outcome statements, I sort of remember some type of psychosocial piece that actually ties together some of the things that John was talking about.
Well, I will say that Strategizer's definition of a persona is pains, gains, and jobs to be done.
Strategin or strategizer?
Strategizer.
Alex Osterwalder.
Right.
Okay. I haven't even thought about what his take on jobs. I know he's a jobs to be done person. I don't know what his take is on that. I think, Rob, I can't answer your question wisely because my take on it was a blog from Alan Clement. So it's going to be coming at it from a biased, his whole view was outcomes are better than activities. And he basically said strategin was activities where he was outcomes. Tom, we're going to give you any opinion on this, or you ready to pass to the next question?
I'll just go with ditto and pass to the next question.